हिंदुस्तान का कोई जिला, हिंदुस्तान का कोई ब्लॉक ऐसा ना हो कि आने वाले दिनों में नए स्टार्टअप शुरू न हुए हो।
Startups in every corner in India. On that note, a good day to everyone who has joined us for this massive effort by TIE to bring entrepreneurs and supporters of the ecosystem together. I would like to invite the chair for this session, Mr. Pradeep Gupta, Chairman of Cyber Media Group, who was also conferred the National Entrepreneurship Award as the best mentor by the Minister of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. Pradeep is the Chief Mentor of Electropreneur Park and also the co-founder of IAN and board member TIE Delhi NCR. I would like to also introduce the panel for today, Dr. Omkar Rai, Director General STPI, Mr. Anil Agarwal, Joint Secretary DPIIT, Mr. Pradeep, and Mr. Deepak Bagla, MD and CEO of Invest India. Over to you, PG.
Good morning, good evening, various time zones that are present today. So good day to all of you. To begin with, may I request that a video be played about what the government's thinking on the entire startup world is. Can we have Mr. Modi's video, please?
हिंदुस्तान का कोई जिला, हिंदुस्तान का कोई ब्लॉक ऐसा ना हो कि आने वाले दिनों में नए स्टार्टअप शुरू न हुए हो।
So thank you very much. So, the Prime Minister gave a call that entrepreneurship should be in each and every corner of the country. And towards that, there have been various kind of initiatives that have been taken. And I think probably this is the first time I've seen such a fantastic panel where we are having the views of the DPI, IT, the STPI, and Invest India all together on one platform. So to begin with, may I request Mr. Anil Agarwal to kindly give us the context of how the government moved the entire effort towards sponsorship about startup ecosystem center stage, and what are some of the initiatives that were launched?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Pradeep ji. It is an honor and a privilege to be part of this TIE Global Summit. I am absolutely honored to be a panel in this prestigious event that TIE organizes every year. You know, the Startup India movement in the country was conceived by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. And the clip that you just saw was 15th of August 2015. He is speaking from the ramparts of the Red Fort. The vision that he's laid out is absolutely clear. He wants entrepreneurship to grow in every district, in every block of the country. Now, that is a mandate that we, our DPIIT, the nodal department of Government of India, we have to take this message across the country. And then, in 2016, January, we launched what is called as a Startup India Action Plan. It is essentially for the government bodies to understand what startup is, how do you support innovation, how do you support entrepreneurship, in their entire journey from an idea to the customer. Over these last 5 years, we believe we have taken a number of substantive steps. Of course, as we evolve, the requirements have changed. We have also learned. When we began the journey in 2016, even at our level, in Government of India level, very few within the government understood what is a startup, how do you support startups, what is it required to support them. We started from that level. And then, we started what is called as a state's ranking framework for startup ecosystems. And then we developed that exercise into a capacity development exercise for the officials of all the state governments. So over the last 5 years, now out of 29 states and 8 UTs, out of 36 entities, we have policies which support startups specifically in 30 states and UTs. That's a massive awareness within the government system. So now the government as a whole, as this massive machinery, is more understanding of startups, their requirements, and is more responsive across the board, across the country, in all the states to startups. What has been the result of all this? Now the result is that today we have 40,000 startups recognized by the Government of India. And this number is a conservative number. Now we have more than one startup getting recognized every hour. So we have more than 720 startups which get recognized every month. It's a huge pace at which awareness has grown in youngsters, in entrepreneurs. And let us have a look at what is happening. How much have we been able to reach? There are about 730 districts in the entire country. Today, we have a startup in at least 586 districts. That is more than 80% of the administrative districts are covered by somebody who calls himself a startup. In terms of states and UTs, in February 20, we had the first startup coming in from Lakshadweep. And with that, we covered each state and each UTs to have a startup. That is the kind of impact that this movement has created. Initially, it was thought that startups are concentrated only in some metro areas, Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai, Chennai. Today, more than 45% startups are coming in from areas outside the metros, tier 2 and tier 3 cities. As I told you, 586 districts now have startups. 45% of these startups have at least a woman as a director. And if you look at the spread across economic sectors, they define themselves to be working in 48 different sectors of economy. 48 different sectors, all enabled by technology. It is not just IT. IT enables them to function in all areas of the economy. Last year, we launched, something called as National Startup Awards. So we thought, let us measure. Let us see what innovation is happening in the country. So we said, okay, let's have 12 different sectors, 35 subsectors. And then, but we made the eligibility conditions for these awards very tough. We said, the startup has to be working ethically. It should not have defaulted in its payments to anyone. It must have all trade-specific registrations. It must submit its audited financial statements. And as our Prime Minister stated in one of his speeches, that a startup is not something which is looking to multiply its own financial gains. It is about solving problems of this country. He said, if we have million problems, we have billion minds. So when we evaluated startups for these national awards, we were very clear that the evaluation criteria is not going to be financial returns to investors, but their contribution to social good. And with this, we came up with 192 finalists who presented to a jury, all comprising of eminent personalities from the private sector, domain experts, and 36 winners were selected. Now, you know, the best thing about these awards is, what is it that government can give in terms of cash? Nothing. We only gave them 5 lakh rupees each to 36 winners. But the story begins from here. So we have now evolved an 8-pronged strategy to support these best of the startup that we have, you know, identified after a due diligent process. The best of investors in the country through IVCA, through TILE, through corporates, through SIDBI, that we have, the fund of funds that we have. We are organizing special pitching sessions for them to gain investments. The entire industry is being mobilized for connecting them to corporates where they could utilize their innovations and scale up. The best minds of this country and across the globe are coming together to provide them mentorship. They need strategic guidance. We have approached all our embassies abroad. And you know, some of the embassies of the best ecosystems, USA, Germany, Sweden, Japan, Korea, best of these embassies are now trying to support these startups gain international market access. You know, we have evaluated out of these 36, at least 18 startups are having the potential of gaining international market access. That is the program that has been devised. So from India to the world, that is, and government actively supporting these startups go global. That is what we are doing. We have a whole lot of other programs. I just wanted to give you a brief of what the government of India is doing. And as the panel progresses, maybe we can throw light on more of such interventions. Thank you very much for having me today. And it is a pleasure to come on a TIE platform and to speak to all the youngsters and innovators. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Agarwal. I think the work that has been done at the policy level, as you said, at the state level, UT level, you know, the recognition of 40,000 startups, the national awards that have been instituted, and not just awarding them, but actually taking them global through a complete support. It's indeed a very unique thing that is being done. May I now request Mr. Bagla. First of all, Mr. Bagla, congratulations. Invest India has been recognized by the UN as the best innovation program in the world. So, you know, congratulations on that. And would request you to share what is it that you do in terms of facilitating the entire startup movement in the country?
Hi, Pradeep. Good to see you. You look the same, even though I'm seeing you after 12 months. In fact, you're looking younger. So the virus is doing you good, I can notice. But listen, so good to see you guys again. And, you know, TIE has always been a terrific platform and a big supporter. And I remember how you and TIE and everyone supported us. Remember 16 January 2016, when we were all sitting down to get the launch ready for startup, and even to see how are we going to create, how it is going to be defined. And I remember you were insisting that you must add innovation as a part of it. And that is how innovation came into it. So you recollect how it is started from there. And, you know, actually, if I may start, I think this is a fascinating case study of what India has done in this entire startup world. I mean, the way Mr. Anil Agarwal, the entire team has been working is exceptional. And I'll tell you, why do I say it is an exceptional case study to be looked at? Think about it. All our other competitors, in the US, this story started in the 60s. In Europe, this story started in the 70s, 80s. UK, which was number 2 in the world or number 3 in the world, started in the 80s, 90s. We started our story only in 2016. It is 48 months old. And look where India is today. It is number 1 in the world in number 3 in the world, let me start with that, in number of unicorns. In fact, even during the pandemic, we've added 6 new unicorns. Number 2 in the world in number of startups, and number 1 in the world with new startups adding every day. And you know, one of the reasons why this is happening, in my opinion, and I'll bring you down to Invest India because you asked me that question after this, is because I remember the Honorable Prime Minister in a meeting said, let the youngsters free. You remember the team which got created for Startup India? Pradeep, you were there. They were all youngsters. Yeah. It was all their ideas. Anil's entire team is a team of youngsters who are brimming with ideas, who understand the new India. This is the story to show you how this new generation of India is starting a new India, creating a new India, and taking it to a totally different level. On Invest India, thank you very much for that award. And that's why I say about the young India, because as you know, my team of 200 plus today, average age is 29. If you keep me out of it, if you add me, then let's not talk about it because we break too many barriers. But what happened yesterday was, it's a proud moment for India. Because again, in many ways, Invest India is a startup of the Government of India. I have 4 verticals. I'm the investment promotion agency of the Government of India. So every investor, to handhold them, to get them all approvals, to get them land, to get them a partner, to show them the opportunity across all sectors. And that's where I've already worked across 250,000 business requests from 119 countries across 47 sectors. And most interestingly, the team is currently handholding the grounding of $163 billion of FDI across 589 global investors. And this number is growing enormously during the pandemic. The second vertical which we have, which sits and which is where Mr. Agarwal leads that entire effort, is Invest India was given, and the Prime Minister was a part of that team when he said that Invest India will be one of the execution arms for Startup India. So that entire team got created here. The third is very interesting. The Prime Minister's Science and Technology Initiative, Pradeep, which is under Professor Dr. Vijay Raghavan. Now, one of the things of that is AGNI, AGNII, the Accelerated Growth of New India Innovation, where they're taking innovation both in the public sector and the private sector and fast tracking it to commercialization. And that is growing rapidly. There's a lot of robustness happening on that. And the last part is, last year, we have the project management group, which is a high-end thing where all large projects of the government are being monitored at the senior most levels. And that used to be under the cabinet secretary. It is now with Invest India and DPIIT, and we are working very closely on that. So this entire thing, and I know I'm taking more than my time, and I'll just end up with one. But first, let me tell you which are the new centers coming up of startups. And Mr. Agarwal mentioned 586 of those 739 districts. Amazing spread. But Pradeep, we are beating Bangalore and we are beating Noida. The new are coming from Raipur, near Lucknow, from Khorda, from Ernakulam, from Belangir in Orissa, from Amroha in UP, from Chota Udaipur in Gujarat, from Hingoli in Maharashtra, from Pondi in Mahai, from Saharsa in Bihar. And let me start with you on the last bit before I leave you and take it back to you. I just shared the other day a platform on startup with a 19-year-old boy called Rohit Kashyap from Sitamhari in Bihar. And you know, Pradeep, what Rohit does? he started a startup called Maitri Consultants. And what that startup does, it provides mentorship. And this is where you come in, because you're one of our chief mentors, to startups in and around his district and village, connecting them to the entire world. He has been now recognized at a global level for that effort. So what Mr. Agarwal's team and what this entire startup movement of India has been able to do is to take it down to that bottom level. The new India, as we emerge out of this pandemic, I always keep saying, is going to be one which is going to be bottom up and not top down. With that, back to you, Pradeep.
That's really wonderful, the focus that you've given on the bottom-up innovation. Also, the fact that, the stress is on youth, not just in terms of, the startups, but also within Invest India. And I think it is this combination of innovation and youth that will indeed propel, a lot of Indian startups on a global scale.
Pradeep, can I show off a minute since you congratulated me?
Yeah, please.
Invest India was, UN is the UNCTAD is the Oscar for all investment promotion agencies across the globe. And out of 180 countries, Invest India was chosen as a winner. Absolutely. And this was in Geneva. So it is indeed a proud moment for India that a startup of India within the government precincts becomes the world's best. And in many ways, I think you can look at us as a unicorn. We may not be able to give you that valuation, but if we do a valuation, it'll be higher than that. And every one of my team is a star.
Personally, I feel that we should be changing the definition of unicorn. It's not just a billion valuation, but it should be unicorns are those who touch a billion people. And Invest India and, the entire startup ecosystem is indeed touching a billion people.
Thank you, Pradeep.
Dr. Rai, let's talk about STPI next, which is actually taking this movement to, your plans are to have nearly 30 centers which are going to be in tier 2, tier 3 cities. So, what Mr. Bagla talked about, the ground level work which is being done. Do you see STPI next as a channelizing body for ensuring that that a lot of innovation comes out of tier 2, tier 3 India?
Thank you, Pradeep ji. First of all, let me congratulate you for organizing this very seminar or discussion, and also for affording this great opportunity to me personally. We have been, that STPI and myself personally have been associated with TIE for a very long time. And in fact, I must say that TIE has been able to establish itself as a forum where a lot of fruitful and meaningful, not only discussions are happening, but so many initiatives are getting emerged out of the discourse that we are holding here, year on year. I must say that after having listened to Sri Anil Agarwal ji and Deepak Bagla ji, I think the context is already set. If you look at the growth that we are witnessing in the terms of technology, product creation, IPR creation, startup creation in this nation, it's very, very encouraging. I must say that, as you have said, STPI Next is not only an organization, but it's a phenomena. In the term that STPI and Ministry of Electronics and IT of the Government of India has been instrumental in creation of third revolution post-independence. We call it IT revolution of India. And as a consequence, if you look at the size and the capacity and profile of IT industry of India, it is $191 billion strong industry with $147 billion export that it did in year 2019-20. And why I'm referring is that this foundation that we have in form of IT services industry of India, it has led to several revolutions, including the startup revolution of this nation. Whether it is India Stack or whether it is the success of the platforms like Flipkart and all, which was based on the shared economy or aggregating platform, it actually led to a movement within this nation. And that is where we are trying to build upon. STPI is trying to take this movement further and trying to create much needed infrastructure platforms so that we could transform the IT services industry. Apart from ever growing IT services industry, we could capitalize on this entire strength and ecosystem, and could put in place very, very quickly a centers of excellence, essentially incubators, in all the emerging sectors, emerging technologies all across the country. We know that to capitalize on these strength that India had, the Ministry of Electronics and IT came up with National Policy on Software Product 2019, and you are very much aware about it. And it aspired to take India's software product industry somewhere between 70 to 80 billion dollar by 2025, which is $10 billion right now, and to create 10,000 startups all across the country in the field of software product. We also aspired to create 1,000 startups in tier 2 and tier 3 cities of this nation. And to achieve this very vision, several initiatives have been taken, including software development, software product development fund, research and innovation fund. What STPI is trying to do is that under this initiative, STPI Next, we are transforming all that center and infrastructure that we had. And we are trying to bring the industry leaders, mentors in academia, and a great collaboration to establish the incubators in emerging technologies all across the country. And we are making sure that these incubators, these centers of excellence are also opened in smaller towns and smaller places of this nation beyond metros also. And we have planned about 25 centers of excellence in the field of AI, IoT, blockchain, augmented reality, virtual reality, animation, gaming, and application of these technologies in the field of fintech, meditech, game tech, uh, efficiency augmentation, electronic system, which you are associated with as a chief mentor. All these initiatives are aimed at providing a single window place where not only mentors are afforded with world-class laboratories, world-class mentors, and everything that is happening under the leadership of industry veterans, IT industry leaders, who are acting as chief mentors and the chairman of the governing council. And that is how we are affording a much needed administrative mechanism, governance mechanism, operational mechanism, a very, very flexible world-class ways and means, so that these startups don't face any hassle or any bureaucratic hassle that comes in their way. And this center of excellence movement is taking shape. We have already planned 25 centers, already launched 12 centers of excellence, and we wanted to make it very, very inclusive and equitable. And therefore, even for the Northeast, we have launched an Octane program. We have already launched 3 centers of excellence, one in Guwahati, agricultural IoT, to leverage the entire ecosystem that Assam has, and then center of excellence in Shillong about gaming and animation, AR and VR, and in the emerging technologies in Imphal to start with. All these centers of excellence are actually, as I said, are happening in collaborative manner. Invariably, each incubator is being, planned in collaboration with academia, industry, state government, Ministry of Electronics and IT, and most importantly, people like Pradeep Gupta and such industry veterans and leaders from all across the country. I am not going to cite their names because the who and who of the IT industry are actually working with us, and we are going to make sure that we are able to create these center of excellence which are world class. Apart from that, I must also say that the Ministry of Electronics and IT has a very encompassing vision to make sure that we would give much leadership, much handholding to the startups in the field of software product. And for that, not only the COE, which STPI is doing under its initiative, the ministry has created a Ministry of Electronics and IT startup hub. We are calling it MSH, which would be an encompassing hub to handhold, to collaborate and support all the incubators coming in this area. Apart from that, next generation incubation scheme, which STPI is implementing, is aimed at promoting and nurturing the young boys and girls from smaller towns. So it is all available for tier 2 and tier 3 cities. It is not available for metro cities. And under this NGIS, we are also creating basically seed funding this thing through a private operator, a private partner, and for which we are trying to create 120 crores fund, which will be available to young boys and girls from smaller towns. All these initiatives are aimed at providing everything that is needed to do entrepreneurship, to create product, to convert their ideas into the products, and take access to the mentors, market, and wealth and investment. And that is where we are playing a role under the overall leadership of the Ministry of Electronics and IT. And I must say that the entire ecosystem that is upcoming with the initiatives from DIPP, with the again the Startup India initiative, this Investment India initiative, and the overall initiative of the Ministry of Electronics and IT, which aims at capitalizing the strength that IT services industry of India has. I'm very sure that we will be able to give much needed leadership in these sectors of technology product creation, in the startup movement, in these sectors, niche sectors also. And I must thank you again for this great opportunity so that I could share a few of my works and thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rai, and for sharing with us, the entire COE system that is getting created and how it is going to nurture, Bharat. And I think that is a common theme amongst all the three. Incidentally, Mr. Agarwal, Mr. Bagla, Dr. Rai, we have a few startups who have actually benefited from the government schemes, and we will be showcasing them in a moment. But before that, I have a very quick question to each of you. So just a 1-minute reply. Usually people are very afraid of reaching out to bureaucrats, government departments, and so on. In startup ecosystem, you need to support that very actively. So how have you changed that? Would you like to go first, Mr. Agarwal?
See, it's about attitudes. It's about our attitude to have in yourself, right? And this comes right from the Prime Minister. He says, you can't have silos. You don't build your own fiefdoms. You need to reach out, youngsters, and then look at them. So it's all about attitudes. We are trying to inculcate that kind of attitudes in our teams right down the hierarchy. There's no hierarchy. We work directly with everyone, and we now work on WhatsApp groups. Most of us, and in anything that we do, we have absolutely, there is no hierarchy. It's a level playing field, and anyone can communicate with anyone in the. I mean, there is no concept of somebody who's at the bottom, somebody who's at the top. That is the kind of culture that we're trying to create. Give opportunities for everyone to be heard, and then respect everyone to deserve a reply. So that is the culture that we are trying to create.
Wonderful. Mr. Bagla.
Pradeep, I must tell you, anybody dealing with Anilji, you will realize it is, one, he's my team's favorite, and I have a team which is very young. But I must tell you another thing. One of the most successful startups in the government, and that too in one of the toughest, which is out there dealing with every individual, was started by Anil. He's very humble. One day you should ask him for it. In fact, even now you should ask him for it. It's one of the most, and it's now globally acclaimed for the way he structured it, the way he got it going, and the touch points he creates. But yes, our team is a very open team, Pradeep, as you know, and also working closely with the government. There's a complete change in the mindset. I remember when we came in, there were a lot of apprehensions when I was looking at this job myself, but it has been a terrific experience working with all of them. They're just open to new ideas. They're in fact searching out for new ideas and searching out for easy ways to get it executed and implemented.
Wonderful. Dr. Rai? You're on mute.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, no, the same question that, how accessible is STPI to youngsters and so on?
So I think you can talk about that. You see, STPI has a history of becoming the most successful single window organization way back in starting 1989, and we are famous for that. The entire industry gives this credit to us that we were the first organization ever created in the government to handhold the startups those days. You know, they were just a startup. Today's major IT companies of India were just a startup, and one of my colleague remembers. Uh, 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 Founder of Infosys, coming to STPI Bangalore office on Lembreta, right? So we have been very friendly, and we have actually grown with the industry. And this is the kind of hallmark, this is the actual functioning of STPI, where we have a lot of flexibility, work culture, industry friendly attitude. And being the government, even the industry, most of the industry people never knew that we are actually a regulatory organization. So they thought that we are an organization which provides plug and play bandwidth to them, and the entire regulatory role, administrative role, was actually gone and was not seen by the industry actually. So that's the kind of work culture we have, and we have evolved over a period of time. And if you ask any of the startups working with us, or industry leaders, actually, if you say we are working with 12 industry leaders, one of them is you yourself, and therefore you should be able to testify about it, rather I talking about these facets of
That's
guys
that's
function.
indeed a new sort of a face of the government. Young, youthful, open, which is what is required to promote.
We either transform, we either change the entire thing, and that's the kind of work culture, the kind of vision we have. We That's why the entire industry leadership that is working with us as mentors and chief mentors, they find it so good to work with us, and that is why. And STPI is very happy to work under their leadership. That's the most important thing. Being the government organization, working under the industry leadership, and working on their direction is something which is very usual for us. It's inherent in our culture and functioning.
And to showcase that, we have three startups which have benefited from
Yeah, of
various
course, of course.
schemes, the awards that were talked about, and so on. So I think it's best if I let the startups share their own stories. So over to you, Ruchita, if you can just include the startups, introduce them, and then after that, let them share their story.
Thank you so much, PG. And as the panelists rightly said, as TiE Delhi NCR, we've had a chance and opportunity to create that bridge between the government and the startups. And I can vouch for it, how easy it is to work with the Invest India teams, with DPIIT and with STPI. And I'd like to invite the three startups. Atul Rai, who's the CEO and co-founder StackU. We've got Bhavna Basu, who's the co-founder and COO of Bonayu Life Sciences. And we've got Purvi Roy, founder and CEO, Arista Vault. I'm going to request Atul to come on first, and then we can probably have Bhavna follow Atul, and then Purvi can go next. Atul, may I request you to share with us how you've benefited from what the government has to offer. I know sometimes we feel that schemes and policies of the government are beyond our reach, but I think these three startups are going to prove us how easy it's been for them and how it's worked for them. Over to you, Atul.
Okay, thanks, Ruchita, and thanks, TiE Global, for inviting us to speak. And of course, speaking in between, of course, in like such an eminent panel is always an honor. So yeah, I mean, as a startup, of course, we started in 2015, and we targeted one of the very toughest sector in India, which is the homeland security area, right? I mean, of course, previously the sector was known for, purchasing the product from Israel, Russia, US, and all, right? So when we entered in this area, of course, government is always the first organization who need to purchase the product for this, right? So the good part, which I think, because any success of the startup, if you see the global thing, right? I mean, ecosystem will success only if the government just not become the facilitator, but also becomes the purchaser of the product from the startup, right? And that is what happened for us, right? We are currently working with 9 Indian state police forces, and that says the story, right? I mean, we are one of the startup which is having $1 million kind of revenue. At the same time, we are profitable, right? So that says the story. We are basically working. Of course, when you work with the government at the same time, when you work with police forces, that's again a very tough, tough area to work, right? But the good part is this startup India and the startup. This startup term itself is now getting a lot of energy in the country, and I can say because I'm working with all the state police forces from the Punjab, UP, Rajasthan, Bihar. So all these forces are using, of course. Recently, Prime Minister also said, right? I mean, startups should target some of the toughest problems that which we have in the country. And of course, we are such a large country, we can't have a security personnel behind everyone, right? And that is where AI can play a larger role. And that's what the area we targeted. At the same time, we got that benefit from different, basically government organization. I would say, I mean, I'm not sure whether Anil sir remember or not. 2 years back, I was trying to get his appointment. I actually got on the second day. I written a mail to his email ID, and he asked me to come down to his office, and he met me. So that's kind of a spirit we have, and I'm really and I say that okay, that is what we have got in India. And I mean, from government becoming a facilitator, government basically having a lot of policy. Of course, since we are profitable company and startup, so there is such no tax on the profitability part. That's another benefit we as a startup are getting, and using this money to get scale in our own product and all, right? And at the same time, if you file the patent was a research AI company, so when we are filing a patent, we are getting a lot of priority on that. So there are a lot of benefit coming out of it. And of course, recently we also won the Startup India this award, this National Startup Award. So I mean, yeah, this give us a lot of energy, and at the same time, we are also expanding globally. We are now starting working with Saudi Arabia and different other global countries, right? So I mean, this is what I would say the success story for Indian company working in the homeland security domain, because this area is known for Israel, Japan kind of countries, right? So if this kind of success stories can be created, I would say, I mean, it's a success, I mean, at least for us as well. Yeah. So
Wonderful,
yeah.
wonderful story, Atul. Fantastic. Bhavna, you are up next.
Yeah, hi. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. It's really an honor, to speak in front of everyone. We from Bonayu Life Sciences, we ventured into a sector which is a life sciences sector, and it is one of the toughest because it requires a hell lot of a time for you to do innovation and product innovations, come up with those kind of a products which are highly innovative. So when we started it off, I think, with Startup India itself in 2016. And initially, we also had a lot of apprehension that, we are venturing into a life sciences sector where we need a lot of funds, and, it would take us some time for us to bring out the products into the market and commercialize them. But I must tell, the kind of a support that we had got from the government, it's unbelievable. Initially itself, we started off in an incubation center, which was, central government funded, which was Bangalore Bio-Innovation Center in Bangalore. We didn't had too much of instruments, which is required to high-end instruments, which is obviously required for a startup, working in a space of life sciences. The kind of instruments that we got, it was so expensive that the government provided all those instruments based on the rental side. Nobody can think of those kind of a support, especially from the government. So that was major challenge that we were facing, and which was made it so very easy by the government. Secondly, we as a company, we started getting so much of recognition. We got government grants from that, in the life sciences sectors. That again calls it that, we don't have that much of funds, but getting the government grants helps most of these startups, to move to the next level of innovation. So we got initially funded from angel investments from US itself. When we used to tell them that we have got government grants and government support, they used to be very surprised that, oh, India has reached to that level that, you're getting those kind of support. That actually took us level. Then, moving into meeting up the US, in fact, we got selected as one of the top biotech sectors to go to US, go to Stanford, study about those companies, what innovations that those companies are doing, giving us a lot of motivation that yes, even in India today, we can do a lot of innovation. So that has helped. Another very important factor, and in fact, I would like to tell to the startups, is that the patent reimbursements, right? If you have to file patents today, this requires a huge amount of funds from your side. Startup India had supported us, and it was so easy. I must tell that it is a phenomenal job. We just had to apply for patents, and within 2 months, we got the funds back. I was like quite surprised that most of the people have a lot of apprehensions that government people will bring a lot of policies, but whether these are practical, whether you will get the funds, it will get stuck in the bureaucracy. It didn't happen at all. It was so very easy, so very convenient. You have to write it to them. They will, do all their due diligence and then give it to you all the support. So we have got Elevate grants, we got big grants, we got funds for our global patents that we filed. The very, 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 I would say the prestigious thing that, we got last year, Global Innovator Awards in the biotech sector. And these are the channels that we were opening, and we could bring our product through the government support into the commercialized, state, wherein we started selling our product directly to the consumers within a span of 4 years, and that too in the life sciences sector. The best part happened to us, I must tell you, is the Startup India Award, Startup India award that we won in the life sciences sector. Thanks to Mr. Anil Agarwal, I can say that this has completely changed the way we had. Till now, we were getting a support, but after winning this award, not just even winning, even just in the finalist itself, after so much of rigorous, presentations that we gave, so many questions which was coming from the industry side. When we won this award, we felt so proud that government is recognizing some innovations which are which we'd never thought that can be done. And after that, as Mr. Anil Agarwal was saying, that there's a WhatsApp group which has been formed, wherein you just have to write it to Mr. Anil Agarwal or their team, and they immediately respond, whether it's taking regulatory approvals, whether it is talking to any outside embassies for going global, or whether it is for that matter taking any kind of a support for the private investors. So every day we are now getting calls from private investors that yes, this is one of the biggest startup. The kind of a publicity that we have got, it's phenomenal. So I was telling Mr. Agarwal that you can talk for hours together, but thanks to everyone and to all the startups out there, I think you must start this journey of entrepreneurship.
That's really wonderful. We have one more story. Can we have Purvi Roy?
Yeah, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah. Please, Purvi, share with us your experience.
Sure. So, good morning, everyone. This is Purvi Roy, and thank you so much, Ty, for giving us. This is an absolute honor for me to represent in front of the industry leader and eminent speakers. And thank you so much to Dr. Omkar Rai. My warm regards to Dr. Omkar Rai, Mr. Anil Agarwal sir, and Mr. Pradeep Gupta sir, and also Deepak Bagla sir, and my fellow speakers. So it's an absolute pleasure for me to speak in front of you all. Yes, AristaVault. So to begin with, AristaVault is an innovative technology startup, and we are into the safety and security space, and we are using the technology to build more secure and safe lifestyle. What we are doing in order to do that, we are building the smart concept-based products, which are technologically. So there is technological products which we are building to save, secure, and simplify human life. And the products are very user-friendly. And I will never forget the day when we got incubated through Electropreneur Park and the kind of support and the nurturing we are getting is phenomenal and incredible. So let me begin with the crux that the benefits which we have got. First and foremost is we are technology startup. So the R&D facility, so in the infrastructure itself, we got 2 labs, which is power and RF lab, and it is well equipped. So the R&D facility to invent new products, we have a proper dedicated R&D team and the engineers. So we got a well equipped lab, and then we got the prominent mentorship from industry leader like Pradeep Gupta sir, and who has helped us in structuring our GTM, go to market strategy, the marketing technique, which we can roll out better in the industry, and we can have our revenues generated. So that is also second thing. And third thing, the patent filing, as my fellow founder was also saying, that the patent filing is one thing which always government ensures, and let us do that in most structured way. So that is also we got. And then we are very thankful that we got connected to Dr. Omkar Rai sir, and who has helped us in many ways. And he has connected to our startup. And recently we had a launch session of one of our UV disinfection series, the jute chamber, which is Shuddhi Basket. And the launch is already, sir has, Dr. Omkar Rai sir has supported us to launch it in STPI itself. And we really got visibility, and our products, so we got visibility, and our products have been published in, like, covered by CNBC, Z News, and these kind of news channels have covered us. And then after that, the huge visibility we got, and we got orders from all over India, and not what more, we got export orders also, and our revenues really like it grows fast. So these are the things which we got, and we really like to I really like to appreciate the kind of support, the kind of mentoring, and the constant guidance we are getting from Sanjeev sir, Pradeep sir. Pradeep sir has always helped us. There is a WhatsApp group in which we are connected, and always like if to establish the new product. So there is a technique which already invented by them, and they are nurturing and guiding us on that grounds to us. So it's a structured and organized way to go with the government, and that's how we can work. And they are really hand-holding us in a better possible way. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Purvi, for that. That was really wonderful. So, what we have heard from these young entrepreneurs is that the government has actually helped them in terms of their GTM strategies, in terms of their external recognition, in terms of expensive equipment which has been provided, in terms of the support for intellectual property, and in terms of showcasing them in front of investors. We have just about 3 minutes left, and therefore I will just take one common theme which has been coming from some of the questions to each of my original panelists, and this is regarding funding. Most startups always have this question about funding. So may I start with you, Mr. Agarwal? What really are the funding schemes that are available for entrepreneurs?
From the Government of India, we have a fund of funds where the government has decided to invest 10,000 crores. So we've created a fund of funds. SIDBI manages that fund. And then SIDBI in turn invests into a number of alternate investment funds. And they actually, invest directly into startups. So from the government level, we have an arm's length approach. We don't invest in the startups directly. It is left for professionals to decide where to invest government's money. So we are supporting the startup ecosystem, but it is based on merits. Now this is one. So 10,000 crores of fund of funds. Now, we are now doing a scheme for seed fund. We have a number of schemes. Many state governments have schemes. DBT, DST, Department of Science and Technology, they all have their seed fund schemes. But you need an overarching scheme where anyone in the sector can actually avail of that scheme. So that kind of a scheme is missing even today. Now we are going to be doing again, the same approach. We will keep an arm's length approach. We will give the money to incubators this time. We have hundreds of incubators and government incubators, private incubators, and then those incubators will be investing money into the startups based on professional judgment. So this is another scheme that is now coming up. Thirdly, we are also getting into a credit guarantee scheme for startups. Now, if you remember, Abhi, very recently, RBI has changed their priority sector lending guidelines. And they've said that up to 50 crores of rupees can be invested by banks as credit, as loans to startups. Now the banks are coming to us and saying that, it is risky to give loan to startups and we need some guarantee cover. So that scheme is also coming. So we are trying to, cater, give a complete umbrella kind of a thing for investments into startups. But the government's approach is very clear. Investments have to be made by professional decisions, by those who understand investing, by those who are domain experts. We are not getting into, directly distributing money to X, Y, and Z. So that is our approach.
Wonderful. I look forward to this funding that you're talking about in terms of incubators, accelerators, because that can be a very, very good sort of a way to the system. Dr. Rai, would you like to just share what are some of the funding schemes? You're on mute.
Yeah, thank you for this question. In fact, Anil Agrawal ji has just explained about the various initiatives the overall government of India has taken to facilitate funds of funds and creation of, so that the professionals and such private organizations, they actually do due diligence and they invest in these startups. So that's great. Ministry of Electronics and IT, as I said, has converted its Tide 1.0 scheme, which was already in function for last 1 decade, has now converted into a Tide 2.0 scheme, which is supporting the entire centers of excellence in terms of IITs and IIM. Second, as I said, that under next generation incubation scheme, this a very modest fund of 120 crore has been envisaged, which will be available to as a seed funding for the startups in tier 1 and tier 2 cities, right? So this is very focused funding. And apart from that, we are trying to leverage from the trying to create the startups so that they could leverage all those funds which are already being created. Apart from that, there is one electronic development fund which is also available to the startups of in the sector of IT also. So there are funds, but most importantly, all these funds are professionally managed, and based on merit, any startup from all across the country, from any place, from any incubator, can apply in that fund and can access those funds. So that's very important. As I said, under next generation incubation scheme, we are trying to provide some seed funding between 25 lakhs to 65 lakhs based on the merit of that startup, and 10,000 rupees internship grant for a year to the founder of that startup. So this is something which is available only for young boys and girls of smaller cities. But overall, this seed funding and other grant schemes are available for all those people through a process which is already well defined and transparent.
And the last word from you, Mr. Bagul.
Pradeep, a lot happening on the funding side. Anil mentioned about the 10,000 crore. That's only anchoring the fund. So we are giving about 25 to 30% of the fund size, and they've got to raise the rest. So, additionally, that'll be about 50,000 crores, which will come out focused on that. One thing I must add, because a lot of that has been covered, a lot happening at the state level, a lot happening at the central government level. In each department, in each ministry, funds have been set up. And states also giving a lot of equity, apart from you yourself, Pradeep, being one of the biggest angels we have to take it forward. But I must say another thing, which is a message I must leave. Every startup is also eligible for MSME. They should register themselves on the MSME Champions portal. They will get a number, and there's a lot of funding which is there, both in debt, subordinate debt, etc. And they will all get eligibility for that too. A large number of those actually, which can fit within the MSME criteria. So frankly, between the private sector and the government sector, and within the government, between the government departments and the government of India and the state governments, a lot is happening. Number of states have set up their own funds. UP, Himachal, Bihar, number of them. So I think there's always money available for a good idea.
Thank you very much. I think this has been a wonderful session. The three of you have been so, forthcoming, so open. It's a very different phase of government that we've been seeing now as compared to what it used to be decades back. That's a transformation which is being led by people like you. So once again, congratulations. I'm sure the startup ecosystem will grow tremendously when it has government support in form of leaders like you. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for joining us. Thank you. I would just also like to request our audience to tune in tomorrow at 4 p.m. We have another set of government folks talking about various schemes that we have to offer. See you all. Enjoy the rest of the program. Thank you.